Beatus quondum nunc diminuit, nos destinatem matribus nunc fiuntur pes, ploravimus, lacrimavimusque, sed nemo nos consolatur aureum cuirasque baris.
Okay, it's about that time. Wednesday stream has begun. Gonna be a rather low energy stream. Once again, I have neglected to attain the normally required amount of sleep for a human being. The plus side of that is that I'm in a slightly more loopy state than usual. I've managed to hit the, I don't know what to call it. The golden zone between not enough sleep and just the right amount of sleep, which is just enough sleep that you're sort of kind of tipsy, but not exactly. And your brain is still functioning, and your inhibitions are sort of slowly melting away as you get more and more tired. It's an excellent condition to be in. Anyways, we got problems and solutions, so we need to find the remaining ley lines. But in order to find the ley lines, we need to have more pendants, and in order to get more pendants, we need to bloom more times. In order to bloom more times, we need to get more experience. Fortunately, we already have kind of a solution to that problem. With these farms, we are capable of reliably producing spawn items, and both the newts and the bubble bears drop experience when you kill them. So, A logical extrapolation from this is to expand the farm so that we can get more spawn items, so that we can spawn more entities, so that we can kill them to get experience at a rapid rate. At least that's the theory. So, stream's gonna start off with us expanding the farms. From there it's going to get slightly boring up until we get to the grinding part. Unfortunately, I sort of built myself into a corner over here with the bubble bears, so I think I'm going to be largely expanding into newts is what I was going to say, except for the fact that I've just realized now that I'm talking that it's going to take a lot more resources to build additional newt farms because they're taller as opposed to bubble bear farms. So we're going to go with bubble bear farms. Plus, I think I have a larger supply of bubble bear eggs. Yeah, I do. So we're going to have to start off on building additional bubble bear farms. And keeping in line with... Well, I mean, now that... I'm sort of on the fence about whether or not I build additional bubble bear farms or if I build additional newt farms. Because if I build... No, I should build additional bubble bear farms because I'm not going to need that constant output of bubble bear eggs versus me having a requirement for revelation nuts as healing items. So this current setup is sufficient for me having healing items. So it doesn't make sense to expand both of them constantly. Show. Oh yeah, black plastic blocks. I don't think we ever found a recipe for black plastic. That being said, I don't think we ever attempted to combine multiple colors of plastic at once to see whether or not they would produce additional colors of plastic from that. Glorious shapak sounds. Whoops. My bad. So we need more black plastic. Let's pull up our plastic recipes and see where we can go from there. No, don't do whatever the hell that is. My spreadsheet is broken. One moment, gotta fix that. It'd be like an unhide. Okay, that noise is atrocious. Let me back up from that. Unhide, clear direct formatting. No. Wait, unhide. See, this is the point at which it becomes a problem that I'm far more experienced at work working with Excel than I am at home with LibreOffice. Format? No. What formatting effect is resulting in... Oh, that's what it is. It's effect that's causing it. Okay. So, plastic block recipes. We've got green, white, orange, yellow, pink, red, and interestingly, nope, we haven't discovered a blue recipe. So let's start off with grabbing every color that we currently have available, and then seeing where we can go from there. Alright. Among these recipes, the only ones that we aren't able to, craft are brown and black. And we've got to figure out how to craft those from the colors we have available. I think I've done every combination of single... Hey, Queen! How you doing? Trying to figure out how to craft different colored plastics so that we can... replenish our black plastic blocks so that we can build more farms, so that we can get more bubble bear eggs, so that we can get more experience, so that we can get more pendants, so that we can get more ley lines, so that we can fill out the rosary. That is the order of operations in this current venture. So, let's start off by trying to figure out how the hell we get different colors. We can start off with red and blue, just to see what happens. Because those are our base colors, but it seems like combining those just results in... Interesting. Different colors. Also, I've noticed that for some reason, I think my... Oh, great. Whatever. The ads have triggered. That's really annoying. So we can do one blue plastic. Plastic block. One red plastic block. And another red plastic block. That produces 3 orange plastic blocks. If we do 2 blue and a red, that still produces a green. So I don't think we've ever seen a purple plastic block in play, so that's going to have to... We're going to assume that that's a recipe that just doesn't exist. If I add more red plastic, does that result in anything? No. Logically, how do we produce brown? Normally we would get brown from red and green, yeah? That looks like it produces orange. Yeah. Red and green produces orange. Why? Don't know. I don't think I've actually got that recipe noted, so let's write that down. Green plastic block. Produce is 2 orange plastic blocks. So red and green does not produce brown. We don't know whether or not brown is something that can be produced. These two together look like they produce... Do I not have any more black plastic? I do, I just didn't grab the right amount. Hey Damien, we're trying to figure out how to craft the necessary colors for... or expand our crafting repertoire for different colors of plastic, because we found brown and black in the world, but we haven't figured out the crafting recipe for it. So... brown and black produces red. Whoops. Brown plastic block. Black plastic block produces 2 red plastic blocks. That indicates to me that there is a pathway between red, brown, and black. Excited for Friday? Yes, I did send an update on Mastodon about the Escape the Backroom stream for everyone in the stream who is not Queen and Damien. We're going to be doing a joint Escape the Backroom stream on Friday. We actually do need to figure that out. Do either of you know how to do the stream together function? Actually, Damien, I'm pretty sure you've already figured out how to do the stream together function. Never mind. So that's going to be a departure from a regularly scheduled program. Done it a bunch of times. Oh, did you stream together with Queen? Yep. As expected. So yeah, we'll be doing that on Friday. So we're gonna take a break from one liminal. We're going to take a break from one liminal game to stream a different liminal game. It'll be fine. Oh yeah, you have to reset your OBS. Haha. When was the last time you streamed, Queen? Damien, you stream in Discord, but I don't know when the last time you streamed on Twitch. Actually, when was the last time either of you streamed on Twitch? It's been a while for Queen. You're going back to your Thursday streams? Ah, okay. Anyways, let's try to figure out crafting recipes. So, I just start throwing shit. Holy crap, that's a purple plastic block. It does exist. Sorry, that was probably an excessive reaction for finding a new color plastic block, but we just never seen that before. So, there is a world where there are additional colors of plastic block. So we have a mechanism for getting more plastic blocks. We've discovered it. We understand. You need an emote for excited wide eyes. Hold on. Let me take that on note. Let me take note of that. Wide eyes excited. Also, in case anyone notices the channel points, I've disabled the unlocks for subscriber points. That's not because I don't want people to be able to unlock them. That's because they don't currently exist. Apart from the basic Twitch lol emote, which we can kind of... I kind of just don't want people to waste channel points on that because it's sort of basic. I'd prefer that to be like more fancy donuts. What kind of donut though? For the wide eyes picture? I don't know. I don't know. Send you the reference picture. Anyways, okay. Purple plastic block. New recipe. 3 purple plastic blocks. Excellent. Purple plastic block. 3. We've broken new ground. So there is a tier, I'm going to call it a tier, a crafting tier, above these basic colors of blocks. What did I just craft? It was blue, pink, and white. Am I missing one? I don't have any green, that's the problem. Let's get some green. Now we got some green to work with. Very slippery dick, bruh. Fucking goddamn it! Can we stop bringing up the slippery dick fish? I can't think of a. Wait, what? Oh, a couple streams ago, someone, I don't remember who. I think Otter. It was definitely you. Was it someone else? Going up with different colloquial names for fish, and them just being heinous. There was one that I just completely struggled to pronounce, and there's no way in hell that I could ever recollect it. It was all you, Otter? What a... Ooh. Sorry, one moment. I just accidentally derailed my own OBS setup, so I gotta fix that really quickly. No, don't dock. Unacceptable. There we go. Alright. Back to crafting. I mean the... Oh, yeah. Yep, that's the thing. Humu humu nuku. Humu humu nuku nuku. Huapuas. Tassel... Is that the Wobagong, or is that supposed to be Wobblegong? I can completely believe if it's Wobagong. That's a very English name for it to be, because it's just complete nonsense. Just like English. Wobagong. Okay. Learning new things every day. There are 2 new channel points rewards. One is Hydrate, the other is Random Wikipedia page. So bear that in mind for everyone interested. There are some neat things you can do. That looks like orange, but just on the off chance that it isn't, I'm gonna craft it. I imagine that brown and orange look very similar in the apotheosis tree. It is orange. That's unfortunate. Well, it's not unfortunate. You don't see the wiki? Oh, yeah. It's not there. Hold on. That should be... Oh, crap. I don't remember where the channel points thing is. Viewer rewards. Channel points. Oh, it's disabled. Oh, right. I remember now. I disabled it because I didn't have the scene set up to be able to swap monitors to... But this band of the Brazen Bull. Oh, God. Just shoot me. I don't want to go in that thing. A horrid way to die. Yeah, I've disabled it. It's going to be a thing, so you will be able to redeem 1,000 channel points, and then we'll go and read through a random Wikipedia article. Just for learning purposes. That's something that I do at random at work when I'm sort of brain dead and I need to refocus myself. Just randomly pelting myself with knowledge. Okay, so we did blue, pink. We're going to be doing permutations now. That's all producing things I don't care about. That looks like orange, but it could also be brown, so we're gonna try it out. I think, and I might be mistaken. Yeah, it looks like that produces normal colors, so we're actually not going to try that. Pink and yellow. I think pink and yellow produces orange, but let's try it anyways. Pink and yellow. 2 orange. Yep. I don't have all of the permutations in my spreadsheet. So just confirming because, you know, I don't know, once again, how close these two are going to look inside the apotheosis menu. So if I see oranges, I might as well attempt it. Put this man in the cucking stool. Please don't put me in the cucking stool. That reminds me, at work we just, we had a foosball table, or a table soccer table, in like storage for 5 years that used to be in a rec room. And we just recently brought it back out and put it into a meeting room that we weren't using so people can use it now. The thing is, it is a completely empty room except for the foosball table and a single chair in the corner. So you've got the 2 people at the foosball table and the cuck in the cuck chair watching the foosball game. It's great. They need to put other things in that room. It just looks awful by itself. That looks like it's gonna produce pink. Is that pink and orange? Produces red. Never mind. Pink and what? No, pink and pink do not produce pink and... It was pink and yellow that produces orange. I copied the wrong plastic block. There we go. Pink and plastic produce orange. Pink and, was it orange? Produce red. You produce red. I don't think I've seen a recipe that produces blue, now that I think about it. So that was pink and orange. Pink and green produces yellow. Pink and red produces orange. Yellow and white produces green. Yellow and orange produces either red or pink. Green produces, that's definitely orange. Yellow, red produces orange. White and orange produces yellow. Ah, there's a recipe for blue, white and green. I don't think I've taken note of that, so let's throw that in just in case. Get white plastic block. Plus green plastic block. Come on. Where's the... Trying to copy paste recipe or item names so I don't have to type them out all the time. Blue plastic block. I'm assuming that produces 2. Yep. We were at white and green, so we need white and red. That's going to produce pink. Yeah. Now we're on orange and green. Going to produce yellow, orange and red. And then green and red produces orange. All right. Now we can start running through size 3 permutations. Already taken note of that recipe. Blue... Oh, no, we haven't. What was that? It was blue, pink, and white. No, we've already done that. That doesn't do anything. Whoops, don't do that. Blue, pink, and red. That produces orange. And we get blue, yellow, white. No. Nope. I got a feeling that's going to produce orange as well, but let's craft it anyways. Blue, yellow, red produces 3 orange. Blue, yellow, red, 3 orange. Blue. No, we're moving on to white. Blue, white, orange, green. Blue, white, green produces purple. Blue. Why can't I find a white plastic? There we go. White, green produces purple, and that'll produce 3 because we understand the pattern there. Blue, white, red, nothing. Blue, orange, green produces yellow. Red produces yellow too. And that's the end of that. Now we can move on to yellow series. That's orange. That's red. Nothing. Nothing. Also nothing. Pink, white, red. Pink, white, red. Also 3 orange. Pink, orange, green. Pink, orange, red produces yellow. Pink, green, red produces orange as well. Now to the yellow series. Pink, yellow, white, orange. Ooh? What is ooh? None of this seems to be producing brown. I am suspicious. Just got your house finished in Vintage Story. That probably took a while. Just going at a whole shit ton of blocks with the chisel. Just... I forgot where I was. Hold on. Going at a whole bunch of blocks with the chisel. Unless it's a dirt hut, which... honestly... No judgment on that. 60 hours in World and you got finished? Very big. Oh yeah? I'm guessing then you have, what's it called? Permanent lighting sources, so you have like oil lamps and or actual lamps. Because keeping that shit all lit with torches would be an exercise in insanity. Alright, we've gone through all of the 3 series combinations for the standard color blocks, and we have only found purple. I guess we need to craft some purple blocks in order to give ourselves some breathing room. So the most simple recipe that I can see is going to be either, well, it's blue and white and then either pink or red. So need lanterns, but that's a next year task because it's October. Oh yeah, you're locking in for the winter. Locking in? Excuse me, locking up for the winter. Lock in, stare at the snow. I mean, that's kind of what you end up doing in Vintage Story. What the? Wait a minute. Did I get the wrong recipe? Blue, white, red. Oh, it was blue, white, green. See, that doesn't make sense. I need either blue, white, and green, or blue, white, and pink. Pink makes sense. I don't know why green would give the spots, but no glass. Yeah, getting glass is just colossal pain. I forget how you get glass if you don't have the pick necessary to mine quartz. Because I think you need a bronze tier quartz, or a bronze tier pickaxe, excuse me, in order to mine quartz. Copper won't do it. Actually, I explicitly remember copper not doing it because when I went what's it called? Not spectating. What am I trying to think of? Prospecting. When I went prospecting for copper, I found like a really, really high percentage copper area, but when I mined down, it was just like a massive sheet of quartz, and I had to mine around that. Prospecting. Yep. I don't like doing spelunking, mostly because every time I go spelunking, I just encounter a gross excess of enemies. I actually don't remember what the hostile mobs in Vintage Story are called. Let's get a healthy amount of purple. 12 purple blocks. Now let's start combining them. No, we keep purple in there as the primary. That's producing pink, blue, pink, blue, pink. So it likes producing blue and pink. I don't know why, but it seems like, or it feels like, we're going to find either brown or black as a combination of 3. Start cranking through. Wait, what was that? That was pink. Never mind. Blue down, pink in. That looks like brown, or not brown, orange to me. Mix gray and gray. I mean, white and black? I could mix white and black. The problem is, the only 2 blocks that I can produce ad infinitum are red and blue. So there is likely a crafting method for me to be able to multiply black and brown with, what's it called? With some combination of these colors, because at the moment the only thing that I can produce with either black or brown are all of these colors. Need to make infinite green? I can make infinite green. You have RGB and you can make them all. Yeah, unfortunately, this system only kind of functions through color. Like, you would expect that mixing yellow and orange would produce something in between those two, but it doesn't. So we were just doing that. So what does yellow and orange produce? It produces red. So that, it doesn't make sense. There's an amount of logic to the color schemes. Like, red and white produces pink, but if I combine blue and white, it produces green. So there's weirdness going on that's not easily accounted for with just looking at colors. Like, this is all gonna produce red. I think that's also one of the rules. Like, if you have a series of ingredients in your apotheosis menu and they average out to a color that's already represented amongst these colors, like, this could produce anything with a red tinge, but it's already got purple, pink, and orange, so it's going to have to produce red because there's nothing else red colored. You do orange and red, do you make yellow? Yes, actually. Wait, now that I think about it, do they consider brown a version of... Oh my god, I actually logicked through that! It actually makes sense. It actually kind of makes sense. You exhaust your options for what potential colors could be there by adding all of the colors that it could possibly be. So, like, if I take out any one of these right now, it's going to go from brown to whatever color I took out. Watch. Or not. Okay, call me a liar. But see there? It went from brown to pink, which I just took out, brown to orange, which I just took out, brown to red, which I just took out, and then brown to yellow. So purple doesn't matter in the context of producing brown. And that also means that brown is part of the red color series. There's something about this game. There's an amount of logic, but just fucking getting it dialed in is damn near impossible. Anyways, we've got our brown recipe. Awesome. That's going to be pink, red, orange, yellow to produce brown. Excellent. So now we need to figure out what series black is a part of. And I'm guessing that black is going to be what I call part of the blue series. And I'm going to guess that the blue series is blue, purple, white, and green. So just give me a moment so that I can brown plastic block. And that produces 4 from that recipe. So we're going to put in these. White, that's the next one in the series. Green, that's the next one in the series. And this is going to produce black. Watch. It produced pink. Never mind. What if I put pink in? It produces yellow. What if I put yellow in? It produces orange. What if I put orange in? It produces red. It's going to railroad me into the red series again. I put red in. It produces brown. I take these 2 out. It doesn't do anything. I put brown in. Oh? Is that black? Hey! We have an avenue. Pink, orange, red, yellow, and brown produce black plastic. Specifically 5 of them. Round of applause, everyone. We've discovered that there is an amount of logic to how the plastic blocks function. Not that we necessarily fully comprehend it. Out of curiosity, I put that's going to produce red. Drop that in. It produces orange, yellow, pink. Huh. Interesting. I wonder if... So... These are essentially all part of the red series of plastic then, yeah? Because if I remove any one of these, then the crafting output becomes the thing that I removed. But if I put all of them together, it becomes green. So that means amongst the red series, all of the blocks are red, orange, yellow, pink, brown, and black. Which means that in the quote-unquote green series, I only have these 4 colors. If that's a set of 6 and 6, I would expect there to be 2 more colors represented by these blocks that I could combine to probably produce one of these colors. I am going to just make this recipe to confirm that this does produce 6 green plastic blocks, just to keep myself sane. Okay, so that is what's going on. Now, when I combine this series, what does it give me? It gives me pink. So I guess it is the red and blue series, and the blue series is a series of 4, and the red series is a series of 6. And then if I take any of these out, it converts to whichever one I took out. That's actually really, really useful. Now I can effectively mass craft whatever color I want, just by combining every other color. The only weird part about it is going to be... What? 4 blue, and the rest of the blue series produces black. That's very interesting. Why would it do that? So there's some ratio nonsense going on as well. So we got, that's blue, purple, white, and green produces 4 pink. But if I increase the quantity of these, okay, increasing those doesn't do anything. What? That produces yellow. Why does that produce yellow? That's so fucking weird. Alright, so we just copy down the recipe. Now we have a method of producing black using the blue series, which I guess is cool. Not sure how that logic works, but it's definitely there. 7 black plastics. Yeah, I guess that's a thing. Interesting. I do this. Gonna give me 14. Okay. Well, we've definitely uncovered knowledge. What this knowledge means is sort of going to be up in the air, but I think we've established crafting avenues for all blocks in the plastic block series. So we have our 2 stock blocks of red and blue, and then we have our intermediary blocks of everything else. And actually, we're gonna reorganize. Don't have any cabinets. We're going to pair the blue and red series blocks together, just as a method of keeping myself sane. So red series was pink, orange, red, yellow, brown. So pink. Nope, sorry. Ah! Those are going to go in there as part of the blue series. Pink, yellow, orange, brown. Those are going to go in there as part of the red series. Black is now technically part of both series, so I guess we're gonna put that in the center. I don't know where else to put it. New cabinet block. Inventory is awesome. Oh, the one that's got like dynamic storage. I can imagine that that would be extraordinarily convenient. All right. We've got our plastic situation sorted out. Let's get our construction situation together now. So, we need black, and was I building this with white tile or was I building it with white plastic? I think I was building it with white tile. I was building it with both. Okay. In that case, let me grab black and white plastic. I am carrying white plastic with me. That is... duh. Right. Going to expand the bubble bears. Because the bubble bears are easier to deal with. I don't think I need to have the double segmented thing going on with the bubble bears that I had with in this. Well, maybe. Thing is, if they block, if they output or lay an egg in the far corners, the funnel isn't going to pick it up. So, excuse me. Up with you. Annoyingly, I think this setup is optimal or close to optimal. I think I can eliminate this center blockage and then have two funnels close together and then do a separation. So let's try it that way. Less convenient and more just very cool. You can set folded clothes on it. That is really nice because clothes are an annoying thing that take up a lot of inventory space in a game where inventory space comes at a premium. I was looking for funnels. Yeah. I forget what the recipe for the funnel was. It was like magnetite and wood? Yeah, that's what it was. Hopefully this multiplies. Does this multiply? No, it doesn't. Duly noted. I think I figured that out and then promptly forgot. 4 should be okay for now. Let's throw that back in where it came from. Okay. Start by scribing the outline. There. Now we're going to need... Wait a minute. Am I losing my mind? I am, slightly. It's okay. Easy fix. Pushing this so that it's one block away from the edge. Then it's going to be... Here's the inside edge. And the outside. So we're going to have two wide rectangles side by side. We go up. Yep. And then keeping in form. Oops. Okay. Whoops. Oh, we'll go fix that later. Knock you off. And you. And you. And you. And we need to build the walls. With the bubble bears, I think we only need to have it too high. Let me confirm that. Come on. Alright, fine. Okay, you're not gonna let me do that. Do it this way. Alright, I built them 3 high. Now I can't get back up. That's fine. And we fill in the corners with black plastic. And we build up our... It's like 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I just realized that the soundtrack has been continuously playing in the background. Is that acceptable? Or should I disable that so that we can fully enjoy the weird, wacky sounds of Lucid blocks? My brain filter finally recognized that something was amiss. Oh, they added a ton of new clothes in the Vintage Story, too. Fun. We can accessorize. Is there a method of repairing clothing in Vintage Story yet? Actually, no, that's not, sorry. No, the way that you repair it is that you use, like, the associated material with, actually, I don't remember how do you repair things in Vintage Story. Come to think of it, don't remember. Always was, you can right-click it with the linen. Ah. See? I don't think I ever got far enough in Vintage Story to be able to, actually, no, I think part of the problem is that I was a tinker, not a tailor, so I don't think I was able to make clothes. Sewing kit from tailor, yeah. Oh, the tailor can just make the sewing kit, which is also used to repair. Okay. I was getting cabinets. Now we have the bubble bear enclosure. Look at all these eggs. Excellent. Excellent. And we put 3 and 3 in here. Let's do 12 and 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12. Look at all those bubble bears. Kindly producing for our benefit. Maybe you can send you an image. You can post links in chat, so if you have like an Imgur or equivalent, then you can post an Imgur link in chat and we can look at it that way. Why do you have a plastic block in there? Probably because I broke one and you picked it up instead of me picking it up. Put the white plastic back in there. Actually, I do need a kill box for bubble bears. So grab white blocks and black blocks again. How do we want to do the bubble bear kill box? Ideally, it's somewhere that I can throw a whole crap ton of spawns without really worrying about them getting out, so maybe I just want to make it really tall. I want to make it tall, and I want to be able to get in and out of it fairly easily. If we use a hook, that's fine. It's how we're getting in and out of every other farm. But is there a way to make it more automated? Kind of like a Minecraft style thing, where you can just throw or have mobs falling into a kill box. There's another thing about it. I don't think I've ever seen a half block in this game. Thank you for the link, Arter. Let's look that up. Embroidered fur shirt. Oh, that is nice looking. And it gives 3.5 degrees of warmth. That is really nice looking. It's amazing how good looking voxel can be. I guess this one can be on the ground. Just make it 3x3 for... I can't think of words at the moment. 3x3 for something's sake. Consistency's sake, because we operate on 3s in this building area. Issue is it needs white cloth, so I need to be able to make fancy dyes for it. Ooh, yeah. I think bubble bears can jump, so I think I do want to put a little bit of a cap on top of... Ooh, I don't have enough blocks for that. That's fine. We'll just do like a... Whoops. Do that type situation, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, and over, and then we'll just have that one block floating above. That should be sufficient for us to get in and out. Yep. Okay. Behold, the death jar. Total bubble bear death. So, in the time that it took me to do all of the plastic block finding and building this, we were able to get something like, it was like 36 bubble bear eggs. So I wonder how many 12 produces. Hopefully quite a lot. 5 in as many minutes. Excellent. So obviously it's going to take a while for us to get real returns on the number of bubble bears we got going in here. We're gonna eventually kill all of them, so let's add more bubble bears in. We had 12 in each. Let's up that to 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So now we got 20 in each. And that'll produce eggs at a rate of who knows. Never exactly timed the egg production per bubble bear. But so long as it's more than the production rate of the current bubble bear pen, that's fine. I really need to figure out a capture mechanism for preventing the blocks that are spawning from this side from outputting on the corners. It's kind of annoying me. I guess I could put funnels down at the edges. How many funnels would I need? Pops out along each corner, so I guess I would need an additional funnel per plastic column. Seems excessive. That being said, I think most of the plastic is still going into the funnels. So maybe the investment of magnetite isn't worth it. Do not put bubble bears in the jar. I'm gonna put the bubble bears in the jar. The bubble bears are going in the jar. They're going into the demon jar. Get in the demon jar, bubble bear. Only the last one living will be deemed the strongest and set loose upon the world. Yeah, sure. That's a way of doing it. Yeah, we can grab a stack of eggs. We can throw all of the eggs into the jar. We can kill all but one bubble bear and then let that one bubble bear loose. That bubble bear will be the designated survivor. See, the secondary problem with this is that we're gonna end up producing a shit ton of bubble bear flesh. I don't really know what to do with that. I can combine red top and green top into raw lamb, but I don't really know what that gets me. Eat? Yeah, you do have a point. I mean, I can eat it in order to heal. It's a cheap heal. It's a low-intensity heal, so having some on hand is probably a good thing. I just don't need... It doesn't stack, which is kind of a problem. So if I'm killing a run of 60 or 70 bubble bears, I'm going to be getting like 2 cabinets worth of bubble bear flesh, which is just an excessive amount of bubble bear flesh. So I do need to figure out something worthwhile, either something worthwhile to do with it, or I just need to trash all of it. in terms of sheep flesh, we haven't exactly done a lot of experimentation with it, so I guess while we're waiting for bubble bears to spawn, we can figure out whether or not there's something worthwhile we can do with raw sheep flesh. Let's get unfilter the chart and get started with some experimentation with raw sheep flesh. Pretty much, we don't need to experiment with the bubble bear flesh because basically anything you do to bubble bear flesh either turns it into the other form of bubble bear flesh or turns it into raw sheep flesh. I think there's some recipes that produce capsules, but it's not particularly valuable for that because we can use eggs instead, and those can actually stack. So, starting off with the raw sheep flesh. I guess we're probably going to need to grab some miscellaneous materials. Just to confirm our suspicions, let's grab... Yep. Turns it into the other form of raw sheep, or bubble bear flesh, so we don't care about it. And that produces more bubble bear flesh, so don't care. Does sheep flesh stack? No, it doesn't, but wildebeest flesh is useful for crafting some items, so I'm wondering if sheep flesh is also useful for crafting some stuff. And plus, while we're gonna have all of this bubble bear flesh to craft sheep flesh from, I just realized something. Basically, having all of this sheep flesh makes spawning sheep pretty much worthless. Because why would you spawn sheep and waste the time it takes to waste the time and resources it takes to craft sheep capsules to make a sheep that you can't shear, that can only produce sheep flesh and wool when you kill it, when you can craft both of those a lot easier? Because I think wool is like feather and string? Yeah. Easy. Versus making a sheep, which costs more expensive materials than this. So I can't conceive of any reason to do that. That makes sense. Okay, that's bubble bear flesh. Newt flesh. Bubble bear flesh. Please don't tell me that... Please don't tell me that sheep flesh is secretly a class of bubble bear flesh. I'm gonna lose my mind. Oh god. No, it's just more bubble bear flesh. It's just more bubble bear flesh. I can only make bubble bear items with it. Does feather and black plastic make? Who knows? I don't think I've done a lot of combining black plastic I don't think I've done a lot of combining any plastic with anything else. Basically, all I've used plastic for is making different colors of plastic. Apparently, feather and plastic produces wool. And that's going to be consistent with every plastic variety, because I'm pretty sure at this point it's a typing thing as opposed to a color thing. So whatever the recipe is going on here, it's taking the class of the item above the color of the item. That wool? Yeah, it's wool. I can recognize some items. Also, it occurred to me today while I was at work thinking about you, that the number of recipes in this game is extremely expansive. You can do so many recipes in this game, but realistically, the number of actual items you can craft is going to be substantially fewer than the number of recipes. So pretty much as soon as you arrive at a recipe set that's capable of crafting every item into each other item, then the only purpose in discovering new recipes is either to figure out how the crafting system works, or to find more efficient recipes. That's pretty much the only reasoning I can think of behind researching additional recipes, because I have noticed that as the streams have gone on, that the number of research and new recipes I need to try out has genuinely diminished, because there seems to be a rate of diminishing returns to trying out new recipes. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, it's just that it's something that I've observed. Or that I think I've observed. Now, realizing that I really shouldn't have put the white plastic blocks back, I am going to craft a tower explicitly for the purposes of slinging myself up into the air and then falling back to the ground to deal damage to myself. The reason I'm doing that is because I need, or I want to, be able to figure out how much healing items heal for. That's generally going to be easier when I have taken damage, because I know bubble bear flesh heals for 3, but I have no idea how much sheep flesh heals for. So, right? That's sort of underwhelming. There we go. Sheep flesh. Heals for 4, so it's not even worthwhile to craft sheep flesh out of bubble bear flesh, because it still doesn't stack and it only heals for 1 more. So by making sheep flesh, all you're doing is words are difficult. By making sheep flesh, all you're doing is losing 2 healing. At least that's what it seems like the case is. Because it seems to like crafting into pretty much exclusively bubble bear related items. Oh, wait a minute. We figured out earlier that there are classes of items. Captain Gav, is the game fun? Yes. Depending on your definition of fun, I suppose. Really, a lot of the game is exploring not only the actual world. This isn't the actual world. This is just our pocket dimension that we use as a house. It's exploring the world and exploring the crafting system. I do think that this game is probably a game that suffers from a little bit of lack of novelty in further playthroughs, but in terms of the first playthrough that we're doing, it's definitely interesting to try to solve the puzzle of what the hell's going on. Also, there's things we haven't figured out yet, like there's this rosary, which is sort of an abstract completionist thing. Or maybe not, maybe it's not a completionist. Maybe it's not a completionist thing. Maybe there is an actual goal in doing this. We don't know what it is yet. Alright. From what we learned, if you complete the class of item, it turns into something else. So if we take a raw sheep flesh, a bubble bear egg, raw bubble bear flesh, and a red top raw bubble bear flesh, it should transmute into something that is either an end product of this item class or another item class. Gonna head to another stream. Hope the rest of yours goes well. May return after a bit. Alright, Otter, see you later. Enjoy the other stream as well. Okay. It produces a fucking cyst. Because of course it does. Why would it do anything else? That's really annoying. We have other methods of crafting cysts. Green top, bubble bear, flesh, red top, bubble bear, flesh, produces how many cysts? Holy shit, that's a lot of cysts. And it's 70, so I'm going to assume that that produces a full stack of cysts. Fascinating. Now, this does make me want to combine that recipe with a cyst to see whether or not cyst is categorized as an item within the bubble bear tree, or the bubble bear class. So let's hit it with that. Oh, would you look at that? It does make something. Out of curiosity, so if I throw more cysts in. Okay, that's a recipe for wheat. That's interesting. Actually, that might just be a red top bubble bear capsule, so let's figure out what this does first. So that class plus 3 cyst produces wheat at a stack of wheat. All right. So maybe the bubble bear class isn't as useless as one might think. Maybe it's the avenue to producing an egregious quantity of other materials. So I'm fucking out of materials now. This is funny. I said there was going to be no need for bubble bear materials, and then the game was just like, ha, you fool. What would you know? You know nothing. So let's throw all of that in there. Okay, so wheat is just like a weird ancillary craftable result of all of the other items. We threw a full stack of cysts in, it didn't do anything, so let's throw that back in. Captain Gav, thank you for the follow. Welcome to... There is no pet name for followers and or subscribers yet. We'll work on that one. I don't know, is pet name the right word for that? Community thing? Bubble bear capsule. That bubble bear capsule looks a little fucked up. That doesn't look like a normal bubble bear capsule. Bubble bear capsule. Baker's dozen? Yeah, Baker's dozen is a good thing. All right. We'll throw that in the workshop as like a high-ranking one. How long have I been a streamer for? February 1st, I think? I think I literally started February 1st. And the story behind that is Damien in chat told me on Discord that I should stream Code Vein. And he meant in Discord, but I misunderstood, so I set up a Twitch stream. That's why we're here. Streamer through misunderstanding. I went through the trouble of setting it up. I might as well continue at it. It is kind of fun. It can be fun. And there are days that I'm just tired and don't want to do it, but that's only really happened once so far, and that was because I don't know how to manage my sleep schedule. So this bubble bear capsule is weird. It's purple. I don't trust it. We've seen bubble bear capsules before, but it didn't look like that. I will craft a bubble bear capsule so that we can demonstrate why that looks fucked up. I just need to find a recipe. Bubble bear capsule in newt egg and newt capsule. We have a newt capsule. If I combine that with a bubble bear egg, am I gonna get a bubble bear capsule? Yeah, I am. So this is the bubble bear capsule that we're familiar with. Keep it the stream stuff, you're good at it. Thank you. It's it is helpful for learning how to talk. Or at least practicing talking. Normally I'm very quiet in my day-to-day life, and because of that I ended up doing a stutter. But the streaming does definitely help with practicing that. And also it's a lot easier to stream when people are in chat and engaging, because then I have someone to talk to. Our normal experience with the capsules is... Wrong cabinet. Blue is passive. Purple is sort of ambiguous. Mishus are completely uninteractable. Golems are passive unless attacked. And then red are all hostile. This Bubble Bear capsule freaks me out a little bit. Because... what if the game lied? But it might just be a red top. Like streaming on TikTok because there's always people in chat. Oh, weird. Hi, little guy. What the fuck is wrong with your face? Well, I have no doubt that he's passive, but also he's got a gaping hole where his face should be. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, little one. Ricky. Moving on. Okay, we're gonna be calling that a faceless Bubble Bear. So we have our recipes for normal Bubble Bear capsules, and that one is a faceless. If we combine faceless and normal, then we get what looks like a fruit femme. So we'll just throw that in the recipes tree to have it. Because why not? Fruit femme capsule. There's a possibility that that faceless is useful for crafting some other weird entity, so we'll keep that in there. What the... Oh, good. So y'all are capable of clipping through walls, too. That's good to know. Well, there's no way in hell I'm going to be able to count. How did y'all clip through the wall? I'm guessing that it was a instance of y'all crowding in the corner too much. Oh, yeah, that's definitely what it was. Okay. We're going to have to shore up the gaps a little bit. Oh no, now that I think about it. We've already experienced with the newts that if they clip into a block, then they'll be deposited in like a specific direction, so I don't think if I close up the corners it's gonna prevent them from... I don't think it's gonna prevent them from clipping outside. We can still try, but... Alright. Black plastic was a lot of that, plus a lot of that, plus a lot of that, plus a lot of that. In you go with 16 blue. Thank you. Anyways, back to the conversation we were having in chat. I just don't have a TikTok because I don't really use it for anything in the first place, so it's sort of gratuitous for me to have one. But it is nice to hear that there's consistent engagement on other platforms. Means there's hope. Hope for us all. No, I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just kind of blathering. That's fine. It's an audience you can foster there. That's true. I do see people like posting clips on other platforms, so it's reasonable if your goal is to expand your channel, but I'm not quite there yet. I'm streaming on YouTube because it isn't as hard as in PC as you think. I would imagine not. I can't really... what's the word? Verbalize why I suspect that it's not particularly resource intensive to stream to multiple platforms at once, but something tickling my brain tells me that that is a reasonable thing to be the case. Alright. Anyways, Bubble Bears. We've got We've got meat for the grinder, baby. Multiple stacks of bubble bears. Let's actually throw the things that are in our inventory that don't need to be there away into containers where we don't have to worry about it as much. Wheat, you go in there. Bubble bear hat, you're an accessory. You go in there. Cysts. Did I not have cysts? I had cysts. I just didn't have a full stack. Now I have a full stack plus extra. Rendering is harder on software versus sending things over the wire. I can be held accountable for my word. I'm on that good za. Great. Oh, right. Grab the outputs. Alright, hopefully we don't see any more leaks from the bubble bear pen. Time to get some levels. Oh, crap. Actually, it just occurred to me. When I level up and I need to get pendants, the thing that's going to happen is that if my inventory is full of other items, I don't know whether or not I'm actually going to be able to get that pendant. So maybe we actually need to have some sort of system in here. I think... I think I'm gonna have to raise this entire thing up and then line the entire bottom with funnels. Because that's the only way I can conceive of this thing having anywhere near the necessary capacity to hold anywhere near all of the bubble bear eggs that it's, or bubble bear drops that it's gonna need to hold. And that means that we're going to need more funnels, which means that we're going to need to use some magnetite. And once again, it's a good thing I found all that magnetite when I did, but I really need to find a recipe to produce this stuff. Otherwise, I think I'm going to go through it rather quickly. That will be for later, if ever. Because really, all we're trying to do, our main goal at the moment, is to get all of the rosary beads. And we do know that it is possible for the pendants to bug out, because they did at one point. I had a pendant. I used it, I went to the place it pointed to, and there was literally nothing there. I don't need to pick up all of these. I need to pick up... like, that much. And also the roof. Alright. Hey, Mishu. You always kind of freak me out, but I know that you're not going to hurt me. So it's fine. So... is this holding up to logic? Is this holding up to scrutiny? I think if I do it this way, it works. Drop the skirt down. I have 8 funnels. The funnels go in a circle with 1 black block in the center. Then we put the upper levels on the enclosure. I really need to be able to aim. And then this needs to be a little higher because we're going to surround the top with the cap. That's going to need to be, it's at 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I'll call that good for the moment. Because we'll be able to hook up, then back off, and then that's how we'll be able to get in and out. There. So now we have a capacity to throw bubble bears in there, kill them, have their drops go into the funnels to get held. So if we need them, we can harvest them from there. And then when I do blooms, which is the term for level up, in case y'all didn't know, I'll just be able to have the leyline pendant go into my inventory. That is the plan. But for the moment, I really got to use the restroom, so I will be back momentarily. Have the break screen and some music in the background while I'm gone. All right, I see that ad break coming up, so we're gonna resume after that ad break. It'll be in about 2 minutes. I'll take the spare time to hydrate myself. I recommend that others do the same, if thou aren't already. What's the ABV on that cider that determines whether or not it's hydrating? All right, is everyone back from the ad break? I actually went and fact-checked myself on the hydrating with cider thing. Looks like more research is... Whoops, that's the wrong thing. More research required on that, because it seems like there is some deliberation to be had between whether or not alcohol's diuretic effect, which means making you pee effect, is strong enough to offset any potential hydration, even at, like, single % concentrations, or whether or not you're fine up to, like, seemed like 2%. So, yeah, that's a thing. Ooh, that should be a higher point reward. Instead of just a Wikipedia random, you just, like, redeem a point reward and it says, hey, go look at this article, this specific article. Get knowledged. And I put my knowledge on your jaw. Right. Can we get a last full stack of bubble bear eggs? It will be interesting to see how many bloomings we manage with exactly 3 stacks. Fantastic. Well, not exactly 3 stacks because, you know, you can change your total stack size, but 3 stacks with current stack size 70. Nice. Okay. So, just to do some back of the napkin math, if we have 70 eggs and each bubble bear drops 1 bubble bear flesh, then we'll be getting 210 bubble bear flesh per bubble bear. They also have the capacity to drop leaf hats, so there is some multiple of items that bubble bears drop, which means that at minimum it's 210 plus some unknown quantity of drops per... Well, that's not true. It's 70 plus some unknown quantity of drops per stack of bubble bear eggs. In the funnels, we have 8 of them. Each funnel is 7x3, so capable of holding 21. So even under ideal conditions, you would need 4 funnels to hold all of the drops from a bubble bear egg if each bubble bear only dropped their bubble bear flesh. Which means that we can process 2 stacks before we need to clean out this situation. Man, I wish we knew about other automation blocks, but currently the funnel is just kind of all we know about, and unfortunately the funnel does not deposit things into storage. We checked. Or maybe you need to have a specific storage for the funnel to drop in, but at the moment it just seems to be like a little black hole. Alright, 70 bubble bears going in. Actually, I'm going to throw in 35, kill those 35, and then do the other 35, because I think if I put in all 70, we're going to have an issue with them escaping. We'll start with that. Okay. Duly noted. Maybe we do this inside. Alright, first 35 in. Let's see if we make a blooming out of these. Holy crap, I think this is gonna work. We didn't quite get a blooming, but we had about half of an experience bar, so it seems like a full stack of 70 will get us most of the way to a blooming, assuming there's no scaling associated with bloomings, which is a big assumption because we frankly have no idea. Alright, here we go again. Azrael's about to break, so let's throw that in, turn it into tendril. There we go. That's a blooming. Give me a... Well, that is not what I was looking for. We did not get the pendant, which is another thing that's going to be an issue, because we had 5 of the 13 rosaries. We needed at least 7 bloomings in order to get those. It looks like we're only going to be able to get 3, and maybe 2 of those will have a pendant. So, lung, which is how much we can hold our breath. Faith, I literally have no idea what some of the stats do. Item stack size is obvious. Heart is health. Another Clone Qualia portal. I don't know what faith does. I'm going to get faith just because. I have no reason to actually be doing that. Now we have 35 faith. For some reason. Actually, did... Killing those... Oh! 8 went from 29 to 30, so killing... Bubble Bears increased our hate stat. What increased our faith stat? Because it wasn't at 35 at the start of the game. It was way lower. It was in with all of these other stats, which are kind of low. Bloom 25 is our level. You have a faith stat. Yeah, I know. It went from presumably 32 to 35, but that means that it elevated from something lower to 32. I'm guessing faith rises when you kill hostile entities. If hate rises when you kill passive entities. But what that actually does, I have no idea. Span is reach. Mass, I really don't know. Fluid is swim speed. Don't want to break those. Leap is jump height. Heart is health. Lung is how long you can hold your breath. Power, I'm assuming, relates to damage. Speed is how fast you run. Slip is literally how slippery your, like, movement is. Like, here, let's just illustrate. If I release my movement when I have slip 4, it just pretty much stops. You can see that there's a little bit of deceleration when I stop. But if I put on ice shoes, which increases my slip by 8, I move for a little bit. So that's what slip does. Mush, ain't got a clue. Leap, jump height, fluid, mass, span. Span is reach. Hate, faith, no idea. Drooge. Who knows? Don't know what Drooge does. Somebody knows. I don't. Get back to grinding out our hate stat. I would bet that hate probably boosts damage with the hate wand. Okay, so 35 definitely takes us to right around half of a level. But we've killed 70. Oh. That's kind of problematic. Oh, I didn't consider that. They also drop eggs. And plushes, apparently. We're going to need to think of a way to dispose of these in a readily effective manner. Also, it occurs to me that that means that there's additional items inside the Bubble Bear tree, which includes the plush and the hat. So, let's do something about that. So we get red top Bubble Bear. And we have Bubble Bear egg, which you need to disappear. Just... Okay, you literally disappeared. Thank you. It's what I asked for, but the manner in which you did that was strange. There we go. Bubble Bear flesh. And we need a sheep flesh. Fantastic. So if we throw all of these in the apotheosis menu. Dandelion. Okay. It seems like we count plush and Bubble Bear Hat as some sort of special tier item that when combined produces dandelions, which I'm going to guess is producing a stack of dandelions. So let's take plush. Plush, not plusa. Not plush with a C and with an SCH. That's a very German way to spell plush. And that was called a bubble hat? Yeah. Produces a stack of dandelions? No, 50 dandelions. It's a nice recipe, but I don't think dandelions are the most useful thing. At least not that I'm aware of. Okay, so we've established something, I guess, with regards to Bubble Bear crafting tree, or crafting class. We'll keep the plushes because why not? Bubble Bear hats are not super valuable. I don't know exactly what they do. I think they increase your jump height. Increase your heart and lung by a lot. Okay, so they're kind of worth keeping around. But not in excess. So let's grab all the ones that are in here, and then after that we can sort of play by ear whether or not we trash them. Grab the plushies in there. Apparently they stack to 5. Okay. Normally I see food items stacked to 5s when they do stack, so seeing those stacked to 5 made me think that you could eat the plushies, which would have been funny if true, but is apparently not. There we go. Now, what to do to... I put something in my inventory and press Q on it. It does spit it out. I wish there were something like lava that I could mass spit items into that I didn't want. Unfortunately, all we got is this bin, which I don't think there's a... Yeah. There's no way to quick click those into the bin, at least not that I'm noticing. So we're just gonna we're gonna take the litter tactic for this. Just gonna throw all of it in our inventory and put it in nature's garbage bin. The ocean. Don't read too much into that. Also, don't pollute the ocean, you bastards. The fish need to not have plastic in their gills. Much like I, as a human, do not need plastic concentrating into my reproductive organs. I don't remember who I heard it from. There's something like, on average, you can pull a credit card's worth of plastic out of someone. Which is simultaneously really funny and really fucked up. Also, I don't know if it's true or not. I didn't look it up. Their source was trust me, bro, and I trusted them. Only time and further research will tell whether or not I was a fool. Alright. Bubble bear flesh off the edge. I still have magnetite in my inventory for some undiscernible reason. Actually, the reason is easy to discern. The reason... I forgore. Back to level grinding. I like the Elden Ring music in the background while we're slaughtering bubble bears. It's like the bubble bear apocalypse. Actually, it occurs to me, I've never actually... I don't think... Anyone know off the top of their heads whether or not YouTube cares if there's game audio in the background on your streams, and if they'll just be like, audio, copyright. Oh my god, what the hell is up with the lag? What's going on? Is this my computer having a moment? Hold, please. This is absolutely my computer having a moment. I think perhaps that throwing all of that bubble bear flesh off the edge was a bad idea. Okay. Now that the quantity of bubble bears has diminished, it's getting better. No. Yes, leyline pendant. That's what we want. Fantastic. Also, I know I said something about designator survival among the bubble bear population, but genuinely don't care so much at the moment. Okay. It would seem that we need to have a better solution to dealing with the excess bubble bear drops than just throwing them into the ocean, because my computer really didn't like having all of those in at the same time. If I go down there right now, are they just gonna be floating? Yeah, man. Let me back up. No, it would seem that they've fully disappeared below the tide. But there's still weird lag going on. Maybe there's just too many entities on my island. That is very possible, because there's 40 in here, there's 9 in here, there's 6 in there, and then there's... How many fruit femmes did I put in? 6? Oh, right. These guys would probably shit out a lot of bread. Yep. Okay, so definitely keeping it down to 35 was a good idea. Maybe we need to reduce this down a little further. I guess if I don't care about the items left inside here, then I could just leave them until they despawn. That sort of clears up my concern. I wonder if there's a way I can force despawn. I don't think leaving and coming back will result in these things despawning. I think it'll still be here when I re-enter the instance, but we can definitely find out. I really gotta wonder what happens when your hate stat gets too high. Did I throw my tendril? Yeah, I did. Oops. Back to Azrael with you. Maybe... Yeah, hate's getting up there. Faith is also rising for some reason. Not sure what that's about. Anyways. Next batch of unfortunates. What do you think the odds are that the devs thought of someone doing this? They almost certainly considered that someone would farm bubble bears, but I wonder if they really considered what I'm doing to them. I mean, almost certainly, right? Clearly, this is the most effective method of grinding hate. Hate being beneficial or not, potentially. None of these are the pendant, but a rebirth block is good because I get those so very rarely. Nice, 2 rejuvenation anchors. All right. Yeah, I don't have to go in. I can just punch them until they downstack. They're not gonna live anyways. Whether or not I do horrendous things to them when they're short lives is sort of irrelevant. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Bubble Bears. You are fuel before my fire. Gas in my tank. 8 in my stats. Your flesh sustains me. Good night and goodbye. Hey, looks like we got another stack's worth and change. Let's see what our small farms produced. Not much. I mean, this is definitely an effective solution to get pendants, but also I do feel a little bad about what I'm doing. They're not real. But abusing them in this fashion is a little fucked up. This is like if normal animals in Minecraft dropped experience. Pendants! And we got 2. Nice. Drop in. More bubble bears. Down stack. Yeah, we're starting to get a little laggy. I wonder if the reason that the game lagged so badly earlier is because the bubble bear flesh that I threw into the ocean was causing more of the pillar that I'm on to render. I don't think that's what's going on, but it's the only thing I can think of. Ugh. Getting chuggy again. Who knows, I might be the first person to ever crash this game. Definitely doesn't like the amount of spawned entities in here. Gonna get another level? Nope. Not enough gas in the tank. Well, either way, that was productive. We got... Oh, hello. We got 2 pendants out of that. So that was 4 stacks of bubble bear eggs producing 2 pendants. That's not terrible. And we do have a little bit of a problem with all the excess bubble bear flesh, which I guess we can just throw out back into the pot. But now we have 2 additional pendants to go searching for ley lines with, which is what we will now do. But first, I kind of need to fix my hook or get a new one. Do I have any hooks? I do. Cool. All right. Captain Gav, if you've never seen the overworld, this will be a small snippet for you. Welcome to hell. It doesn't all look like this. It just so happens that hell is currently sort of the vibe of the area we're in. And neat thing about this world, as I've been informed and have somewhat experienced, this form is infinite in X, Y, and Z directions. So you can go up, you can go down, you can go left, you can go right, forward, and backward as far as you want. But Well, actually, no, there is no but to that. That's just sort of what we expect. Anyways, time to figure out what... I don't remember which direction was north. That's a problem. I can no longer head in the northward direction if I don't know what direction north was, or what designated north was. I think, if I recall correctly, north is this direction, or designated north is this direction. Because we went north, and then like heaven-ish areas over that direction, then we traipsed backwards, and we landed over there. We got through this area, we got star and sun blocks, and then that's where we ended stream last time. So that direction's north, which is, I guess, a direction we can go. I think we're just going to keep going north. I would go any other direction, but the problem is if I go any other direction, I'll get lost. And I would prefer if I could retain some directional information, because we have not found a compass or anything related that could potentially tell us what direction we're actually going. So just having an arbitrary north to work off of is somewhat convenient. Yep, I remembered. North is definitely that direction. And the place where the ley line wasn't is right over there. Oh dear. So the ley line was literally supposed to be per the... Oh, gotta catapult myself up. Alright, you're not gonna let me up. Fine, I'll do this the hard way. Place where the ley line was supposed to be was literally right here. This empty space that I'm currently staring at, that I am rotating my character around, that is where the last pendant pointed to. And there is, as you can see, no ley line there, and there wasn't one there when we got there the last time. The only thing that was in the area was this pillar, which had a bunch of lamps around it that we broke and stole. So now we gotta go and continue on in a northward direction. Ow! Why did I do that? That was a foolish thing to do. Also, it's getting dark, which is gonna make getting around a little tricky. Oh, nice. We entered a biome where it lights a little easier. Damn it. Come on, let me up. We might have to climb that and then jump off in order to kind of get to a workable location. Come on, let me up. Thank you. Some nice spooky lamps. Alright, this looks like Pebble Block. Hey, don't let me fall to my death. Not here. That would be sort of embarrassing. Right. Can't reach that yet. Did you think this was a climbing game? Because it's a climbing game. Doesn't market itself as a climbing game, but it definitely is. Okay, see that orange thing that's over to the left? Yeah, that thing explodes if it gets close to us. We need to not be in the vicinity of that thing. But I also need to get up higher because I can't stand. There we go. Get the clone quality block, get the second hook up so that if I need to, I can swap to it. Let's see if we can't grab our way into that. Aim. Nice. Goal is to get up to that plastic layer so that we can move easy. Because once we get up above that plastic, then it's roughly flat, so we'll be able to move north easier. Ooh, there we go. And if you think about all that plastic crafting that I did before, behold, just a shit ton of plastic that I didn't need to craft because you can just find it out in the world. But it's like the difference between whether or not you can just sort of passively generate it versus actively mine it. Between the two, actively mining it is much more of a pain. Behold! Get some blocks to mark where we've been. Yep. Guess we're doing a Y. Let's recycle pickaxe. Don't worry about that entity in the background. He chill. He just sort of gets close and then disappears. Like that. So. North this way. And we're walking. It's gonna take us a while before I am comfortable to break open that pendant, because if it points me back in the direction of that broken ley line point, then that's going to be another wasted pendant. Don't worry about this. This is below this area. Actually, we should be able to find the dirt pillar that I tunneled up through before. Over and kind of... Is this a different spire? Oh, this is a different spire. This isn't the spire I ascended the last time. Or maybe it is. Nope, it's definitely different. This isn't the same spire. Further north we go. Let's get back on track-ish. You can get turned around in this game really easily. I don't know if that's obvious. Kept a pretty good track record of continuing north, but it's very possible to accidentally go the wrong direction once and then just not be able to correct. And the reason that you might want to go north is if you find something, you don't have a rejuvenation anchor, aka a portable spawn point, and then you die. Is this black plastic? Why, yes it is. So I guess the plastic biome? Man. How many ways can you mispronounce the word plastic? The plastic biome does have most of the plastic blocks in it, although we've seen everything but purple now. That's pink. I could just stay here and mine out all of this plastic, but I really don't have that much of a use for it. There are instances where we'll stop and sample some blocks because we just haven't seen them or been able to craft them before. Or we know they're valuable and want to get a more sustainable supply of them. But this is not one of those instances. Okay, here's another spire. Is this the spire that I ascended before? If it has 2 vertical segments on it, then it is one that I've popped up before. It is not, so this is another new spire. Still no purple in these plastic blocks. Also, something really nice that's sort of underrated. Oh my god! That was not black plastic. That was, yeah, if you didn't notice, I sort of heavily locked in, which is a reminder that I need to keep my fucking glider glove on my hotbar. Give me a moment. I just need to shake off the nerves that I just experienced. Because, wow. Well. Welcome to, yeah, so, you know, I was saying the world is infinite vertically. Welcome to the layer below the one we were in. It's got stuff in it. Freaky. Let's see if we can't climb back up this mountain. Although, honestly, hook is gonna break before we get up to the top, so let's swap out to the new one a little early. Those are all explosive. There's the passive splody ones and the active splody ones. Oh, we've been here before. Or rather, I've been here before. See that? That's a ley line building. And that little L-shaped block, that is a little bit of a pillar I built in order to get into it. So we are back into familiar. Just don't fucking do it, please. Don't. I have a family. Thank you. I do want some melon. You dropped one melon. I want it. Bad! Fuck off. Huh! Ah! Everywhere I go, things want to hurt me. Right. This is going to be a little bit of an awkward jump. We're going to have to try to use the vertical motion that we get from dropping down and springing back up to cross the gap. Holy shit. Man. I need to stop freaking myself out. This is not good for my health. Woo! That's how we do it, baby. All right, now we need to be able to get over there, so we're going to drop down and then slingshot ourselves. Now we gotta get up on top of this, so we gotta drop down and slingshot ourselves again. Didn't make it. Okay, maybe there's daylight by going around the other side. Yes, there is. Oh. Hello, flying fish. How you doing? Okay. Continuing northward direction. So yeah, Captain Gav, occasionally you get into these floating island type situations, and then it becomes a test of your motor skills. Jesus. Having better movement and jump stats would definitely be a boon in situations like this. I just don't have them. Alright, back to what looks like semi-solid land. Let's do a slingshot off this platform to try and bounce off. How do you know what direction I'm going? I am literally keeping track of it in my head. So, back at World Spawn, which is hella far that way, I picked a direction arbitrarily and designated that as a north. And then ever since then, I've just been trying to use landmark features in order to keep myself northward oriented. And thus far, it's worked. Because, as aforementioned, there is no known true north in this game. Alright. Peachy. Fucking let me up. Right? You're gonna be like that. Fine. Do uncomfortable things in order to get ourselves back up to the top. Nice. Whew. So yeah. Imagine real life. No sun. You gotta continue going in the same direction, and the only thing you have to orient off of is where you've been. That's the hardware we're operating with at the moment. Good old brain power. Also, it helps that the entire world is cubic, so if you just stay oriented along one face of the cubes, then you can sort of infer which direction you're going by dint of the fact that you're not having to cross blocks. Does that help? Oh, that does help, yes. Yes, it does. Yeah. Essence? Yep. Essence and black plastic are the exact same color. What does combining them do? Sure. I'll bite. This is a whole shit ton of essence. I'm not gonna mine any of it because I haven't bothered to figure out what use it is in the first place, so... Okay, apparently we're in a grid biome that's sort of weird and abstract. You just gotta move far enough in a direction that when we use our broken pendant, it indicates an actual direction to a real ley line as opposed to the broken ley line that we were at before. Because I'm guessing that if I try to use the pendant when I'm close to that broken ley line, it's gonna point back to that ley line. And that's another reason why it's beneficial to keep going in the same direction, because if you start looping back on yourself, then you'll sort of not be making any progress toward a specific ley line. I've never seen this block before. Ornament. Also, this is prismatic. All right. New blocks. Time to take samples. I thought this was a metal block, but it is evidently not. Although it does sound like metal. So maybe it is metal. And the entire reason that we're taking samples of blocks is because at some point we're gonna probably go through and start combining other blocks, like that whole thing that we did with plastic earlier. That was merely one amongst dozens, perhaps hundreds of potential crafting groups exist. Or, no, not crafting groups, dozens of crafting groups that exist that contain hundreds of different items. Potentially hundreds of different items. We don't actually know how many items in the game. There's probably someone who's figured that out, but I'm not looking it up because I don't want to spoil the surprise. I've already had several instances in this game where I surprised the shit out of myself by crafting an item that I then very nearly killed myself with, among other things. Alright. Good for a sample, and our inventory's full, so let's go back, sort our stuff out, and then continue the journey north. Oh. Yeah, I feel that. The bubble bear stuff is still there, isn't it? Yep. I'm hoping that despawns eventually. I bet I could probably leave and re-enter the game, and that'll probably get rid of it. It's actually worth doing, and see if that works. Fingers crossed. Because if that does work, then that's a really easy way to clean up all of the excess bubble bear drops. Ooh, nope, I felt that. It's still there. Yep. Maybe you need to close the game. Might as well try it out. All it costs us is time for knowledge. Game closed. Game reopen. Hopefully it clears out whatever instance data is keeping that bubble bear drop stuff spawned in. Maybe the devs were like anti-Minecraft item despawning style games and are just like, nope, we're just gonna keep that around forever until you either go so far away from it that we can't seriously keep it loaded in, or you do something about it. Fingers crossed. Nope, still there. Wow. Persistent drop entities. Fantastic. Green, black, wait, blue, make red. What happens if I try crafting 2 metal hooks together? Nothing. Okay. I feel like it was obvious to myself that that was going to happen, but worth trying anyways. Right, the entire reason that I wanted to pick up those melon slices was to heal. There we go, healed. And I'm going to go ahead and throw that metal hook into the crafting area because it will still be useful for crafting if I don't break it, and then I won't have it clogging my inventory. Also, while we're here, right, rejuvenation nut is newt egg plus bubble bear egg. Okay. Back full up. And into the overworld we go. And this is one of those situations where we remember where we came from so that we know where we're going. We came from that direction. So we're going, going that way. Sorry, I see entities sometimes and I just gotta get closer to know what they are. Weirdly, the first time we saw fish was in an ocean, and it makes sense for them to be there. But ever since then, I've seen fish more often flying than I have in the ocean. And I know I'm going the direction that isn't designated north at the moment, but I see this house at the top of the mountain. I'm kind of curious as to what's in it. Plus, apparently we're close enough to the top of the layer that we'll be able to get back into the plastic domain. Let's go do that. And next time we see a black hole in the floor, we don't jump into it. We, I mean I, the peasant we. I alone, and the fool who nearly reset who knows how much progress. Brother. Alright. Flip this around, go the other direction so that we're facing north when we pop out. Man, plastic thicker here or something. Hello. Back into the area. Make our direction indicator again. We continue onward. This plane has gone on many, many biomes, so it's very possible that this plastic level is infinitely plastic. I've been up and through this layer a couple times, and I have not seen anything but plastic in this layer. Oh my god. Seriously. I do kind of miss the little dirt tower that I made in this layer, though. That was an interesting little incursion of another layer into this one. layer of infinite plastic. Plastic Man's... You think Plastic Man has nightmares about this place? I know nothing about comics. I don't know what Plastic Man would actually have nightmares about. I'll just out myself immediately. I know nothing about Marvel or DC. Marvel Rivals was the first time I've heard of a lot of those characters. Right, we've probably moved far enough north that we can crack open a broken pendant and then move in that direction. I still haven't seen purple in this dimension. Interesting. Cool, we're going in a direction. Marvel Rivals was your first time too? Yeah. Like, Squirrel Girl, didn't know she existed. Cloak and Dagger, no idea. Magic, no idea. I think I knew most of the tanks. Was there any tank that I didn't know about? Valkyrie, I didn't know about. I don't remember all the characters all of a sudden. It was like a solid 3/4 of the supports. Probably about half of the duelists. And then I think I knew most of the tanks. Doctor Strange, Hulk, Groot. There are more tanks than that, but I just can't remember them. I didn't know about Emma Frost. I cannot remember all of the tanks. That's it. That's the extent of my memory. Oh, Thing. Knew about Thing. Yeah, I'm not winning any trivia nights on Marvel Rivals. This is rough. I'm racking my brain. Nothing's coming to mind. I've the game's been out for a really long time, and I only have 80 hours in it because I only ever play when other people are playing because that's sort of the most fun that the game ever is, in my experience. Don't like that. Sorry, I had to pause the music because I was hearing noises, and now I realize I am in fact hearing noises, and I don't like them. We've heard these noises before. They've never indicated that anything was explicitly nearby. That doesn't mean that I don't still dislike them. Okay. Actually, the plastic dimension is rather easy to traverse, all things considered. Damn it. As opposed to every other dimension. This one you do kind of got to do jumping, but there's significantly less topography to worry about. Let's move around this pillar. Just positioning ourselves. This is like dousing for the stronghold in Minecraft. Right, I think we're just about directly over it. North is that way, we mine down. We're going to build a slightly different structure to indicate where we went down. Did I seriously just build... no, that wasn't intentional, by the way. That sort of happened. Ignore that! We'll move on. Let's not acknowledge it. Have you ever heard of color theory? No, you haven't? Shut up. Hopefully there's something resembling... an elevated structure once we break through this. Yeah, no, there isn't. We got two options. We can drop down and then just sort of pray, or we can try to build sort of a platform underneath us. I think that trying to build a platform is going to be either really difficult or not worth it. So I think dropping down is probably the best option. Now, the thing about the glider glove that I've noticed previously is that it does slow your fall, but doesn't slow your fall enough for it to fully prevent fall damage. And maybe that's because I was facing down at the time, but... Oh, sorry. Every time I jump into the abyss, it makes me nervous. In we go. Oh. Nice. Hit our target. I think we're directly on top of, what's it called? Yep. This is the most common ley line building that I've seen. I've seen two others. One was a white tower and one was just sort of a normie brick tower. I don't know how else to describe it. Also, I do not have any blocks with which to construct a platform once I'm up there. Let me fix that. Alright. No, don't do that. Stop. Get me close to the ley line. Ah! Alright. The goal is to quick swap to the plastic and then place it below us. 3, 2, 1. Fantastic. Behold, this is a ley line. We go into this, we have a fever dream. Maybe we do a little bit of a minigame. And then we get a rosary bead and we leave. That's currently all we know about the ley lines. Most of the time the fever dream is creepy. We'll see what happens. Yeah, I didn't get anything from that. There was a lot of looking back and forth between the bubble bear and the ley line. Did you look over to a cutscene? Yep, we found a ley line. We get cutscenes when we look at ley lines. Unfortunately, no pendant out of this one. We get item stack size, heart, lung, faith, and cash cubes. Cash cubes are just storage cubes, and they're equivalent to cabinets, so we don't care about them. Out of these, I would prefer a heart, thank you. So now we gotta get out of here. Right. occurs to me that I don't think I remember which direction I came in from. I think I came in from this direction. Yeah, that looks right. Oh dear. Guess we're going down a layer. Ooh, that water was clutch. I don't think I was gonna survive that. Ugh. Well then. Is it me or did it just get extraordinarily dark? Alright. What the fuck? Oh, that's a that thing explodes. That thing throws explosives. We've never killed one of those. I don't remember how to craft a hate wand. Stop it. We need to kill one of those. We don't know what it drops. We don't know what it does. It needs to die. Right. Back. Back, craft a hate wand, kill that thing. Get whatever it drops. Right, hate wand. For those of you confused about what I'm talking about, hate wand is a wand that lets you fire an explosive laser. An explosive laser. Lets you fire an explosive laser. Alright, it's bone. And no, never mind. That's not bone white tile. White tile? White tile. Bone and white tile. Bone, white tile. Hate wand. Throw the plastic in to its storage. Put red in with the blue. Nope, stop it. Click correctly. Green, white, no purple, yellow, pink, red. Leaky pendant. In goo. Into goo storage. Hate wand on hotbar. Get a fresh rejuvenation nut. Then go back in to fight whatever the hell that thing is. After I throw down a rejuvenation anchor, because that would be a foolish thing to fight that thing and die, and then lose every chance I had to actually fight it. Alright. Rejuvenation anchor is going to go up high so that we don't have to worry about it getting destroyed, because that thing seemed to only be capable of shooting blocks down. Fuck's sake, did I seriously just do that? Fine. Hell of a way to use a rejuvenation nut off rip, but... Alright, it's 5 o'clock. Let's do this thing. Don't you run away from me. Where'd you go? Fighting the fucking goo monsters is not what I'm here to do. Oh god. Well, that's a death. Good thing we put down the rejuvenation anchor, huh? By we, I mean I. Once again. Ugh. I was greedy. I was greedy and chased. I knew those things were faster than me, but I paid it no heed. And hopefully it's still in the area. I just need to be more careful heading over to it. But I don't get jumped by the goo monsters again. Well, I can get jumped by the goo monsters. I just need to deal with them as I move. Ah! There's the big goo monsters and the small goo monsters. The big goo monsters do big damage. The small goo monsters do small damage. Both of them suck. Fortunately, there's no attack speed limit, so we can just absolutely clobber them. As is our right. Also, it's a good thing that we don't drop our items when we die, because if we did that, this game would really suck. Ah, fuck you. Holy shit, you're a particularly large one. And you're square, which is... You're discernibly square, which is strange. Y'all are gonna annoy the shit out of me, huh? I could use the hate wand to kill these things, but y'all haven't seen what the hate wand does yet, so there's a reason for it. Damn it. I really hope that thing didn't die. You looking at, mannequin? Freaky thing. It's more goo than I've pretty much ever seen, so that's at least a good thing. Although now that I think about it, I saw that giant creature that I know shoots explosives, and I haven't seen any craters that indicate that it shot any, so I don't know what's going on with that. Ow! What the... Is that a small one that did that much damage? Did they do damage based on... Oh, shit. Retreat to cover. Yes, leyline pendant. No need to look at anything else. Yay. Another Keela, another dead Keela. All is right with the world. Now we gotta pray that the giant thing is in the vicinity. I don't think it is. I think we lost it. I think I lost it. I think I'm a failure. I think I'll never be able to kill one of those things. C'est la vie. We'll see one again. Though now that I think about it, the only time I've ever seen those things is in the ambiguous block area, so maybe I want to hang out around here for a while. For the record, this type of area is the type of area where world spawn is. This specifically isn't world spawn, but once again, it's a known quantity of being the only other place I've seen one spawn. And maybe they can only spawn one per one of these biomes? Possibly? Untested and unconfirmed, but worth sticking around to either confirm or deny. Also, seeing these weird little flesh rooms around, they tend to have weird blocks in them. Like this one apparently had letters in it. Words that spell who knows what. Let's throw down our Clone Qualia and deposit these at our house. Do you think it drops random letters? Do you think it drops like an actual word? A pipe. I think it just drops random letters? Letters. And that's the story I'm sticking with. Because I could be trying to disentangle something for an excessive amount of time, and there's no actual solution to the problem. Cool, full stack of goo. Picked up a bubble wand from who knows where. Revelation nuts, I am thirsty. And the newts provideth. I'm actually going to get 2 stacks of these because it's very clear that I can take a lot of damage very quickly. So it's 8 and 8. I really went through my entire supply of bubble bear eggs, huh? Whoa! Intensive lag. Ah, that's where the drop from that one bubble bear went. Thank you. Good for a snack. Right. 8 and 8. Throw you in. The reason I'm not crafting this in batch is because there's some sort of weird ratio at work where if you put in 2 of each item, it still only gives you 1 nut. In case you were wondering. Alright, stack of nuts and a backup stack of nuts. I guess I don't need to keep my foliage picker on me at all times. Sort of more of a sampling item than a constant carry. The only reason I'm keeping the hate wand on me is because in case we encounter the big 'un again, kind of need that to be on me immediately so that I can kill it while it's there. We're just gonna sort of kind of wander around this area for a little bit, hoping that the big guy spawns. If he doesn't, we'll continue north. If he does, then we'll finally find out what the thing drops. Hey, little buddy. It occurs to me that I think I've only ever seen newts in this area. So, given the extremely useful newt egg drop, probably really fortunate that I spawned into this type of area first. Although, it's also possible that maybe this is just the standard area that you spawn in this game. I don't know. I've only ever opened one world. I know what the cardboard boxes drop. I don't need any of it. But it could drop different things depending on the biome, so... Nope, it drops all the same things. In that case, no thank you. Alright. We got a goo monster. It's going to attack me shortly. Is that the same one, or is that a different one? I think that's the same one. I remember the first time I encountered one of these, I had to kill it with my fists. That was an uncomfortable situation. Is my pickaxe about to break, or is it invincible? I haven't seen this pickaxe take damage. I don't know whether or not it's just that these blocks don't cause durability loss on this pickaxe, but I'm sort of confused. Okay, we're back over here. I really don't want to go into that area because there's goo monsters everywhere. But that's also the area where I saw the big guy spawn, so it's reasonable to be there, much as I don't want to be. Because the goo monsters are there and they suck, and I'm pretty sure I hear one. No, I'm just hearing myself walking and I'm paranoid. Get out of my inventory. 8 wand in. Relationship with goo ended. Relationship with hate wand is forever. Right, you're a jumpy guy. Got some weird formations. I'm guessing that's more rust spines. Never mind, that's an entirely separate biome. Oh, you're a verm. I've never seen one of you in the wild. I actually don't know what you drop either, so... Sorry. Okay, you drop standard spherical organs. In that case, I'm just gonna leave you all be. And yes, that was a sane sentence you just heard. They dropped the standard spherical organs. All of these, like, spheroid entities drop things that look like this, and I think it's... They have glands, appendages, eyes, and one other thing that I can't remember. But they all drop them. Did you see an item on the ground? No, that was an entity hopping around. The big blue ones are verms. We don't know what the little ones are called. Maybe they're also verms. The big blue ones are just blue verms, and the smaller ones are yellow verms. No giant spiders thus far. Just more verms. Actually, no goo monsters either. That's interesting. Why would there be so many goo monsters further south and then none further north? Maybe they were sort of... Maybe they were consolidating around the giant's orb spider. That's a name for it, orb spider. I don't know what its actual name is. The spiny spider we're calling Aquila because that's the item that it drops, but orb spider will suffice until we actually find one, kill one, and see what its drop item is. And we've pretty much established that that was a rare sighting, so we should be moving on. It's also possible that I have the capsule for whatever that is too, because we have some entity capsules for hostile mob spawns that we haven't cracked open because I'm a colossal coward. But we can just continue exploring. That's probably fine and healthy. Ah, yes. Forever tree space. I've seen you before. Still don't know what logs do. Not that I'm going to find out at the moment. We'll cross over to the edge of this biome and then crack open the next pendant. And we'll take it wherever it leads us. Can I kill you if I hit you from range? Okay, or I just put my crosshair over you and you disappear. Fair enough. Alright, do this in a way that doesn't result in my death. Nice. I think we're gonna have to start swinging from trees soon. Ooh. Delicious. Massive void biome. Not a fan in the slightest. This is continuing on further than I'd suspected it would. On the one hand, good, because that means it pretty much guarantees that we're going to be directed to a different ley line. On the other hand... Ah! I knew I saw you. I definitely hit it. I don't think it dropped anything. Why did the light suddenly change? Was that me shifting biome slightly, or did I just do something that can't be undone? Or is it just changing from day to night? These questions and more next time on Dragon Ball Z. But not really. Ooh, golems. Friendly little guys. What y'all crafting? Not crafting, stacking. Y'all stack things. Y'all got bricks and more bricks. Cool. Golem boys, bricked up as usual. Alright, made it to the next biome. Going to do this thing that I said I was going to do. Crack up the next pendant. Oh good! That means we need to... mine some blocks. At least this biome's got dirt in it, which is relatively easy to mine. If it was like rigid stone, we'd be here for hours. Previous experiences informed us that it takes between 1 and 200 blocks to bridge levels, so we'll err on the safer side and get 200, and then we'll start climbing up. Worst comes to worst, we can use our grappling hook to get down a level again, but would rather just keep going upward as long as we can. The less backtracking, the better. Because ground covered twice is ground lost. You can quote me as saying that. I don't know whether or not someone's ever said that before. Not that I care. Alright. Onwards and upwards. Be forewarned, we are going to lose sight of basically everything for a little bit before we get up to the next level. It's fine. Don't lose your head in the extremely discomforting red nothingness. I also need to remember to not swing around like that, because if I do that, I'm going to lose track of which direction I am. Let's stick a block on north. I have done that before. I pillared up, I whipped my mouse around, and then suddenly I completely lost which direction I was facing. Alright, looks like we got floating islands above. Ooh, snowy floating islands. Fancy. The blue is a very welcome change from red. Do not like the red. Also, it's interesting that we went through that transition from blue to red without the screen ever turning purple. Neat. Don't know how they did that. Alright. Is that thing just following me now? Is it pissed off that I shot at it? Okay. Uh-oh. That thing's explosive. We need to cheese it. It's explosive and it's coming to our location near you. The route's a bit circuitous, but we're gonna do it this way. Rather not get killed by one of those things again and then lose a bunch of progress. There we go. Pull that leaky pendant out. You know what's going to happen to you, right? You gotta be quicker than that. Okay, I think I understand what hate does. So the hate wand explodes blocks when you hit them with it. I think the increased hate stat increases the AoE on the hate wand's blast. That is my theory. Oh, that makes things simple. This is the other type of ley line structure we've encountered. Don't. Okay, you're not the explosive one. Never mind. Ta-da! Actually familiar with this one. All right, next. Fever Dreamer minigame. I think it's been kind of alternating back and forth.
Fashion this for thee. A paradise unending, for thou art but fleeting vermin. And thou still treadest upon holy ground. Go on, then. Thy trespass shall be thy undoing.
Whatever, dude. Give me the rosary. Thanks. Also give me the experience, because that's also good. Much obliged. Thank you. Alright. Give the cross a dirt peen so that we know which direction north is. And continue moving north. Guess we'll keep dirt on us on the hotbar just in case. Seen those things before. Don't know what they're called. They drop machinations as a type of grappling hook. Not a particular... Ooh, goodness gracious. That was almost... Oh, shit. Are you hostile? You're actually capable of attacking me. I've never been attacked by one of you before. I'm kind of not interested in that starting. Avoid the orange one. What are you doing? Are you gonna make something out of this? Do it. I guarantee you this isn't gonna work out. Congratulations, you wasted your time. 8 wand. Thanks for the machination, loser. further north we go. And also, I guess that's how those things hurt you, is they bring you up, ooh, and then drop you. I should have used my glider glove in order to span that gap before trying to grapple across it. That was a silly and highly risky move on my part. But what's exploration without, you know, some really, really ball-clenching falls? Also useful to note is that for the grappling hooks, they don't care about the length of the grappling hook. They care about the length of the grappling hook versus where you fired the grappling hook from. So if you preempt firing your grappling hook thinking that you're going to maximize your range as you're falling, what's actually going to happen is that you're going to fall short of your target. And then... is that void? Yeah, that's void. As aforementioned. Yeehaw! You want to fire your grappling hook when you're closest to the target platform, because that's going to be what actually maximizes your chances of not eating shit. Okay. This is Mana Crystal. We've seen it before, though this configuration of scaffolding is odd. Continuing north. Maybe we can cross over to that landmass in order to make the movement a little bit easier, and so that we're not constantly and sort of uncomfortably jumping between the rafters. Yeah, that's way more comfortable. And also this place has just done white tile, which is convenient. And new blocks. Well, not new blocks, new foliage. I've seen this type of log before. All right, don't whip your mouse around so quickly that you forget which direction you're going. All right. North, that way. And it is 8 p.m., which means it's time to end stream. Thank you all for watching. Streams are regular from Monday, Wednesday, Friday, starting at 5 p.m. PST, although it's currently daylight time, so it's Pacific Daylight Time. We're going to send you over to someone else streaming Lucid Blocks. We're going to go raid someone. Lucid Blocks. Who do we got that's streaming? We got Rocket Cat and Tremorox. Tremorox is in Spanish. We're going for Rocket Cat. Thank you all for joining once again. Let's go raid Rocket Cat. Next stream will be Escape the Backrooms. Good night and goodbye.